Hey guys, welcome back to Film Feature 43. Today, we're going to talk about Black Widow. So if you haven't seen that film, you haven't seen the Disney Plus shows, you haven't seen other MCU films, I'm going to talk about a little bit of each of them. I'm going to try to avoid a few spoilers, but in the end, I might say something that you might find as a spoiler if you haven't seen these films yet. So go ahead and check them out. Come back here, watch what I think, but without further ado, let's get into my thoughts on Black Widow and whether or not it was a mistake. So I want to start out by saying David Harbour and Florence Pugh and Rachel Weisz, I think that those character additions are great. Specifically, the Red Guardian, played by David Harbour, and the new Black Widow, played by Florence Pugh. I think those are good additions. You kind of get the out-of-shape Captain America-esque Soviet from the Red Guardian.
Okay. Yeah. It still fits.
And with Florence Pugh, I think we can move the Black Widow story along in the future. Maybe do a Black Widow 2 with her. I think that'd be a great thing. Also, some of the action set pieces in this were pretty good. I had a little bit of trouble with the CGI, but in some of the areas. But all in all, action is what you would come to expect from a Black Widow kick and punch up type movie. So I know what you're saying.
Well, you're saying all these good things about the Black Widow movie, but in the title you said that it was a mistake. Is this clickbait? Are you clickbaiting us?
And to that I say, no. Let me explain. So, to answer the question, was Black Widow a mistake? I think the answer is yes and no. To begin with, the movie itself is not a mistake. Black Widow should have gotten her own movie. She should have gotten her own movie a long time ago, but we didn't. And therein lies the mistake. Why is this a mistake? Well, if you haven't seen the film, it comes out between Civil War and Infinity War. Well, what happens in Endgame? Well, Black Widow dies. We know that. But we know that she makes it to Infinity War. So that kind of takes the guts out of this film. You never really feel worried for Natasha. She's going to make it to Infinity War, so what does it really matter? It'd be like setting Far From Home before Infinity War. It really wouldn't make sense because you know Spider-Man's going to make it to Infinity War. Nobody knows his secret identity, so there's nothing really bad that can happen to him. You know that he's not sad about a loss of a loved one. Stuff like that. You know that that's not going to happen. So to fix this, I think Black Widow should have one of three things. Either been set back in the 90s or early 2000s when she escapes from the Red Room. We kind of get hints to that. I think that should have been the main focus of the film. Or in between Iron Man 2 and Civil War, maybe even after the Avengers, the original Avengers, or do in the 5 years between Infinity War and Endgame, where we really don't know. She's kind of the head of the superheroes that are trying to make the world better after the snap. I think that any one of those time zones would have been great, but they chose to set it between Civil War and Infinity War, which seems like the worst timeline to put this in. Once you're doing prequels, which I have no problem with prequels, you're messing with the timeline that's already been established, so you want to put it in a place that it's not going to harm anything. I think that's what they were trying to do. But if they're going to put it in between Civil War and Infinity War, they should have released the film in between Civil War and Infinity War.
Well, your plan sucks.
And I know you have like Perlmutter pressuring them not to release any female-led superhero films, which sucks. Black Widow, in her own right, should have had her own movie, in my opinion. I think they did it well. There's a lot of people complaining about it's pushing some kind of agenda. I don't really feel that way from the finished product of the movie. But at the same time, it does really suck that we didn't get the Black Widow movie in this time zone where you could have actually had some serious stakes. It sucks, too, that it came out after Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I think, in general, that if it would have came out before Falcon and Winter Soldier, it would have kind of ruined that show. They're very similar premises. You have a group of buddies trying to stop this expert assassins from being released onto the world. one has super soldier serum, the other one are trained assassins. So it's kind of the same thing, and it has the same spy-esque feel. Even having Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character at the end of the film shows that this was supposed to come out before Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think that it would have hurt that TV show as well. They're kind of dabbling into the same thing. I know they didn't want to go the route of Captain America Winter Soldier, but they still want to do the espionage type thing. But to me, it really didn't do what it should have done as a Black Widow-led film. One more thing I want to say, that people are upset about the Taskmaster being a woman. To me, I don't personally care. I have read comics with the Taskmaster and things like that, but I think the fact that it's a woman doesn't really change anything. What they did was they Deadpooled her right out of X-Men Origins Wolverine, where they made her mute, and she's pretty much just a killing assassin that is under the control of somebody else. And to me, that's where they went wrong. They should have made it more like the comic counterpart. I know that these films don't have to follow the comics to a T, which is fine. They're kind of their own universe, they're their own thing, so they can do whatever they want with their own characters, but these characters are loved for a reason. These villains are loved for a reason. They have their own specific flair, so whenever you kind of rip their vocal cords out, essentially, or rip a specific character trait away from them that they have in the comics that make them beloved, you're kind of ruining that character for the people who like that character to begin with. So that's my thought on Black Widow. I think the movie itself, not a mistake. It was a fine film. I didn't have any problems with it, but I think that it should have been released in between Civil War and Infinity War if that's where it was going to be set. It's kind of a missed opportunity in that way. So yes, I believe in that regard it was a mistake. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.